Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2021 New South Wales Prizes and Honours Awards announcement. I'm your host for this evening, Michael Linke. I'm the General Manager of Membership here at the Australian Institute of Architects, and it's my very great pleasure to be joining you this evening, wherever you are across New South Wales, to celebrate the winners of this year's various prizes and to announce the well-deserved appointment of fellows and the advancement to our prestigious Life Fellow category. So, before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands on which we're gathered this evening and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples watching. I pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging, and recognise and celebrate the diversity of Aboriginal peoples and their ongoing cultures and connections to the lands and waters of New South Wales. Well, of course, we're coming to you live once again, and we have a big night ahead. We have 6 prize announcements, including the prestigious President's Prize, 8 fellowship announcements, and we'll finish the night by announcing the Honours Life Fellows. Now, some background if you are joining us for the very first time. There are 2 types of acknowledgements in some of the prize categories tonight. Commendations, which are recognitions of excellence, and the awards, which are bestowed on exemplary work. Then there are the Fellow and the Life Fellow Awards, which are bestowed on members of the Institute by a selection of their peers for their outstanding contribution to the profession. While I'm sure we would all rather be celebrating at a live event tonight, sadly we are online and we are connecting and having this chance to celebrate the incredible achievements throughout 2021 at our Celebrating Architecture Sydney event, which will be taking place in February next year. So be sure to keep an eye out for that invitation. We will be sending one through to you shortly via email, in another edition, of course, to our New South Wales member e-newsletter, our website, and of course through our various social media platforms. Now, to introduce the latest addition to our New South Wales chapter team, it gives me great pleasure to welcome our new state manager, Joanna McAndrew.
Hello everyone, I'm delighted to have joined the Institute. This is week 4 for me. I have a background in association management with speciality in membership, marketing, sponsorship and events. I'd like to thank my team for putting this prizes event together, and I look forward to meeting you face to face at one of our events in the new year. Now, what we've all been waiting for, I'd like to hand over to the New South Wales Chapter President, Laura Cockburn, to announce this year's prize winners.
Thanks, Joanna, and welcome to the team. It's great to have you on board. Good evening and welcome to everybody and to our final awards for the 2021 season. It's been a challenging year for all of us. However, in 2021, we have successfully seen the Institute support and grow our New South Wales members by adapting our face-to-face events to the necessary digital CPD courses, advocacy meetings, and award presentations. It's allowed us to continue to develop and connect the profession through this year's lockdown. The success of the 2021 awards season, which included the Newcastle Awards, the New South Wales Awards, and the Country Division Awards, saw a large number of high calibre, strong applicants right throughout New South Wales, proven again in the strong representation of New South Wales award recipients at the National Awards. Through the digital space, we've witnessed the forging of stronger relationships between our regional and metropolitan firms, be it large, medium or small firms, coming together in solidarity in the New South Wales Awards. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Institute staff, chapter councillors and committee and working group members. Without your ongoing dedication, support, passion and interest in our profession and striving for excellence in the built environment, we would not be able to advocate and influence government and industry or support and mentor our members to the extent that we do. I also acknowledge outgoing chapter councillors in their tireless commitment to assist with the aims and vision of the Institute in advocating for New South Wales members, and I thank you for all that you have done. The new year looks promising. We plan to increase our face-to-face events, including our regional showcase series. These events will be a fantastic opportunity to come together, share new ideas and showcase architectural excellence. We also plan to celebrate our awards in the hybrid digital and physical model that we've all become attuned to. Whilst we are possibly suffering just a little ennui from the online connection over the last 2 years, it has provided a greater reach to our members across the state, and we will continue this mode into the future. It will ensure that we have both the permanent public record that recognises winners, but also the ability to celebrate together. So that brings us to tonight and the conclusion of the 2021 awards season. Tonight, we celebrate our prizes and honours program. Across the breadth of our profession, we give recognition of the individual excellence in research, education, advocacy, community, and social aspects for practitioners across 6 prize categories. And we honour our latest fellows and life fellow appointments. I wish all the shortlisted entrants the very best of luck. For those receiving accolades tonight, congratulations. We'll kick things off tonight with the Brian Patrick Keiran Student Prize. I would like to thank this year's jury for their time and deliberation. Both myself, Chloe Rayfield, the donors, David Candida and Antoine Portier, the prize is open to New South Wales students of architecture and is based on the theme reimagining, reinventing and reinterpreting public space. The prize is for overseas travel and research and/or overseas study to enrich professional development. Following review by the jury, we are pleased to announce this year's winner and 2 commendations. The winner of the 2021 Brian Patrick Keiran Prize is Ryan Dingle for his proposal, Framing Country. The jury was sensitive to the proposal, which invites the viewer into the personal journey through a landscape of memory, reinterpreting Sydney's pre-colonial ecology, repurposing a disused railway tunnel underneath Hyde Park into an intense experimental passage, taking visitors from the city to the Botanic Gardens. The project cleverly blurs the threshold between spectral urban ruins and picturesque nature. The abandoned infrastructure revives this deep sense of atmospheric pipeline, fluctuating between bright outdoor space and dark confined tunnels, resolving in a vision of uncanny beauty at the time reminiscent of Andrei Tarkovsky's imagery. The monolithic architecture guides us through a series of sensorial settings, following a tragic narrative of loss. The minimal design interventions are sequenced in a collection of compelling vignettes, sombre yet oniric in appearance, conveying an atmosphere that encourages reveries and personal introspection. The proposal ignites an exciting prospect embodying the spirit of the student wars, an intriguing excavation, an apneic dive into the unknown. Gravity intensifies, rounded edges become sharp, enclosing mass becomes cavernous, with the sky being viewed through a stone frame. Congratulations, Ryan. And over to Michael to announce the commendations.
Thank you very much, Laura. The jury this year has also awarded 2 commendations for their exemplary proposals, and we would like very much to recognise and congratulate Lucy Sharman for her proposal, Generation. Generation boldly reimagines the approach to the pressing issues of an ageing population, a lack of affordable student accommodation, and the social isolation which generally flows from existing design approaches. It delivers an instructive response to these problems, breaking down imagined barriers between generations and delivering a design solution born from a recognition of the commonality of experience of younger and ageing generations. The reinvention of what to date has generally been a stagnant design outcome for aged housing provides an exciting path to address social isolation and affordability of housing, generating improved social outcomes through a dynamic response to both public and private space. Congratulations, Lucy. And our second commendation for the Brian Patrick Keiran Prize is awarded to Chloe Goldsmith for her proposal, Tributary Park. Tributary Park by Chloe Callum and Callum Coombe is a project that proposes the undoing in part of a colonial overlay of ovals and structures in the Newcastle CBD to enable the transformation of space into the pre-colonial wetlands that originated on the site. Remnants or relics are repurposed, and the natural rhythm of the tides drives the renewal of the land as it recreates the ecosystem of the salt marsh. The jury were very impressed by the depth of research and overall concept as both an answer to the ever-increasing threat of flooding within the Newcastle area and the regeneration of original systems of water management, tidal salt marshes and wetland habitats for threatened species within our urban centres. A huge congratulations, Chloe and Callum. And now to our Reconciliation Prize. This is the third year for this relatively new award, which recognises very inspiring work in the pursuit of equality in architecture. The prize seeks to recognise architecture and professional practice in New South Wales, which advances the rights of Aboriginal and Torres Strait people through partnership, cultural practices, training and employment opportunities. I'd like to thank this year's jury for their time and deliberation in this, and the jury consisted of Calantha Brigham, Carol Gosam, David Karnitz and Bradley Kerr. And this year, the jury have awarded an award to this year's winner and have commended two other entrants for their excellence. So the winner of the 2021 New South Wales Reconciliation Prize is awarded to Kevin O'Brien from BVN Architecture for Kimberwally, located on Darug Country in Mount Druitt in Western Sydney. Meaning many stars in Darug, Kimberwally has been designed and delivered with self-determination and pride in culture front of mind, reflecting the centre's objective to create an Aboriginal centre of excellence which encourages better learning outcomes and improved career pathways for young Aboriginal people in Western Sydney. It's an exemplar for reconciliation, both in its community leadership, conception, architectural response, and the process undertaken to realise the project. A project control group consisting of 8 Aboriginal youth assisted in the development of this project. Regular community events were held to engage with the community, and Aboriginal people were employed throughout the project delivery. Architecturally, the renewal of the 2 existing brutalist buildings has resulted in a really striking outcome for the centre, which has a strong indoor and outdoor presence in the campus. The buildings are grounded in country through a fire pit, which is pivotal to the journey into the site and forms a cultural heart and gathering space, reflecting cultural values, demonstrating positive community benefits, authentic partnerships and deep engagement. The Kimberwally project illustrates what can be achieved when Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are enabled to lead, design and build projects for their communities. A huge congratulations, Kevin. And now for the first commendation for the Reconciliation Prize. And the commendation is awarded to Burry Gumman Housing Studio, a collaboration between the Yarrabah community and the University of Sydney School of Architecture, Design and Planning. Undertaken on 4 occasions, the studio is focused on exploring alternate housing typologies for remote Aboriginal communities. Held on Kaganji land north of Cairns, with the generous participation of the Yarrabah community, students are given the opportunity to work directly for the community, obtaining unique insights and cultural perspectives to inform their research and studio work. This immersive experience is an important opportunity for students to participate in meaningful engagement with Aboriginal people, respond directly to their needs, and provides a forum for cultural exchange on country. The studio provides an important forum for raising cultural awareness, teaching meaningful engagement, and encouraging students to develop authentic partnerships with Aboriginal communities, all of which will build important professional capacity in our future practitioners. Many congratulations, Yarrabah community and the University of Sydney School of Architecture, Design and Planning on your commendation. And for the second commendation for the Reconciliation Prize, the commendation is awarded to Luck by NGKM in collaboration with Koskela. Responding to EY's ambition to celebrate Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture, the lighting piece was designed to reflect the significance of the eel trap and its importance to the traditional and artistic practices of Aboriginal people. Working in partnership with Georgia Maguire, Auntie Glenda Nichols, Auntie Lorraine Brigdale and Auntie Janet Bromley from MGKM, Koskela facilitated the creating of Luck, which was first conceptualised by First Nations artists through a series of weaving workshops before being faithfully realised by Koskela's industrial design team. The project not only delivers on EY's ambition to celebrate culture, but demonstrates meaningful engagement, authentic partnership, and provides positive community benefits. Koskela's deep level of commitment to realising this project in collaboration with First Nations people is an exemplar for the positive and artistic and cultural collaborations which can occur as part of architectural and interior fit-out projects. Congratulations again to NGKM in collaboration with Koskela on your commendation. And now back to Laura Coburn.
Thanks, Michael. Now it's time for the Marian Griffin Named Award Prize. I'd like to thank this year's jury for their time and deliberation, including last year's winner, Noni Boyd, David Tickle, Sam Spur, Belinda Go, who joined myself in a wonderful jury and deep discussion. Named for the pioneering woman architect, Marian Griffin, this prize was established to acknowledge the diversity and distinctive body of work by an architect, be it for their contribution to architectural education, journalism, research, theory, professional practice, or built architectural work. The adoption of the name Marian Griffin recognises her invaluable contribution to the combined effort of the Walter Burley Griffin and Marian Mahony and the architecture of Australia. This year's winner is Dr. Kirsten Orr. Dr. Kirsten Orr is a remarkable ambassador of the architectural profession as a leader, an advocate, an educator, an administrator, and an architect. Creative in her approach to every task she takes on, Kirsten's energy, compassion, enthusiasm, and humility has an enduring effect on others, inspiring those in her orbit to always do their best, and displays personal and professional attributes befitting the award. Kirsten is adventurous in her advocacy, comfortable to explore varied career paths, to tirelessly campaign in the foreground and the background over many issues. These include the status of architectural education, heritage, supporting and promoting women within the profession, identifying student talent, opening networks to boost flourishing careers, and promoting and regulating the practice of architecture in New South Wales. Kirsten is a creative, original, and independent thinker. Her varied career as academic, dean, and now registrar exemplifies her capacity for a cross-disciplinary approach, which relies on positive collaborations to achieve a clear goal, to make a measurable difference in facilitating a thriving built environment and architectural culture. Kirsten remains a source of inspiration to all within the profession, a champion, a sponsor, a mentor, a role model, a career guide, and a trusted listener. Congratulations, Dr. Kirsten Orr, a truly worthy recipient for this year's Marian Griffin Prize. And over to you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Laura. Okay, I would now look to announce the winner of this year's David Lindner Prize. I do want to thank the jury. We had a wonderful jury join us, and they are Gabrielle Pelletier, Robin Lindner, Gabriella Quintana Vigiola, and Tiffany Liu. As some of you may know, David Lindner was a talented young Sydney architect who tragically disappeared in Iran in 1993, and generously supported by his family, this prize now honours his memory. This prize aims to inspire graduates and emerging architects through research to engage in important and very challenging design issues involving the public realm. Dedicated to encouraging new research on architecture in the public realm, the prize seeks submissions exploring a broad range of topics relevant to current architectural discourse in Australia and overseas. The prize is awarded annually to an individual whose submission generates ideas for solving real challenges that face our cities and contributing to the profession as well as the broader community. The 2021 David Lindner Prize is awarded to Hugo Chan for his submission entitled Architecture and Belonging, an exploration into designing the cultural diversity. The global population living in urban settings is predicted to surpass 70% by 2050. Government responses to the challenges of urban growth often favour a standardised metric-oriented approach, which can be at the expense of creating inclusive environments for diverse sociocultural communities. Hugo's research investigates the connections between architecture, culture, belonging and memory, and the role that the built environment plays in defining, shaping and perpetuating self-identity and belonging of migrant communities in urban contexts. Hugo's research outputs will include a practical guide on design considerations for cultural inclusivity. The jury unanimously agreed that the proposal was highly topical and of relevance with the pandemic fundamentally altering our interaction of private, social and public spaces. Many congratulations, Hugo. And now, on to our last named award for the evening. This is the Christopher Procter Prize. I'd like to again thank this year's jury for their time and deliberation. The jury joining us for the Christopher Procter Prize was Bridget Smythe, Bill Sakalos, Stefan Meissner, Gabriella Quintana Vigiola, and of course our New South Wales President, Laura Coburn. As many of you know, Christopher Procter was a very talented architect, an urban designer and a director of Ethos Urban who tragically died of DVT suddenly while arriving back into Sydney in November 2018 after he'd been over in the US. The prize has been established for the Institute of Architects in his memory by his wife, the architect Bridget Smythe, colleague architect Bill Sakalos, and sponsored by Ethos Urban. The purpose of this prize is to provide an emerging architect who has demonstrated a commitment and passion for the design of cities with the opportunity for research-based travel or study to enrich their professional development. And this year, the winner of the Christopher Procter Award is Nicole Larkin for her submission, Wild Edge. Nicole Larkin is a very worthy recipient of the 2021 Christopher Procter Prize for her proposal. Nicole's desire is to build on her beautiful reflective study of the singleness and shared features of ocean pools along the New South Wales coastline. Having comprehensively mapped and catalogued and analysed siting and design, she's now seeking to consolidate a holistic approach to best practice for the management, conservation and future design of ocean pools. In a forward-looking piece, she seeks to identify how to both protect and enhance the New South Wales coastline to realise economic, environmental and social value whilst acknowledging the pragmatic context of planning controls, conservation management plans and assets to be managed by local government. Possibilities abound when we consider Nicole's work to date and the proposal's potential against Monio's SO1 typology or Rob and Leon Creer's typological study as a design method. Her evident rigour, her insights that she's gleaned from reflection, and the overlay of design creatively promises to unlock new ways of thinking about the coexistence of people, sea, sand, and rock. The proposal bodes well for the next generation of public space type within one of our most contested realms, the New South Wales coastline. Congratulations again, Nicole. And now back to Laura to announce this year's Fellows, Life Fellows and the President's Prize.
Thanks, Michael. A key part of professional advocacy relates to the nomination and awarding of honours to members, recognising exemplary contribution to the profession. Through recognising this contribution, we advocate for the work that architects do in the course of their careers, benefiting the community more broadly. This contribution can take many forms, including the practice of architecture, design excellence, education, or community service. And it is through the recognition of these facets of architectural endeavour that the Institute is able to demonstrate in a visible and meaningful way that architects do make a difference to society. The New South Wales Professional Advocacy Committee has reviewed opportunities for more considered and ordered way of professional honours that better reflect the diversity of the profession today. Honours should not simply be a recognition of the number of years served as a member. Whilst this does have some relevance, it is more important to recognise tangible and meaningful contribution in the broadest possible manner. Central to this review has been a reconsideration of the significant honours of Fellow, Life Fellow and Gold Medalist of the Institute. And I thank the New South Wales Professional Advocacy Committee for all of the work they did in preparing and submitting the work that you see before you. So now to the 2021 Fellowship announcements. Fellowship is awarded to those who have demonstrated a significant contribution to architecture profession beyond architectural practice. This year's recipients show endeavours across the involvement in the Institute committees, education, advocacy, research, policy, and design excellence. This year's advancements are Jenna Rowe, Belinda Go, Steve Donaghy, Guy Luscombe, Angus Kell, Abdul Lefkir, Rob Graham, and William Smart. Congratulations, everyone. And now to the highest honour, available to our members practising architecture in New South Wales, Life Fellowship. Life Fellowship is awarded to members who are currently Fellows of the Institute and who have rendered notable contribution to the advancements of the profession in design, construction, literature, education, public service, or in any other way that's deemed worthy of the honour of Life Fellowship. Tonight, we congratulate the following Life Fellows: Kathleen Loseby, Peter Kemp, Olivia Hyde, Alex Popov, Rachel Neeson, Aggie Sterling. Congratulations to all of tonight's newly bestowed Fellows and Life Fellows. And finally, that brings us to the last prize awarded tonight, the President's Award. The New South Wales President's Award is an honour that's bestowed upon an exceptional person within our industry who, through their endeavours within their work and broader community involvement, have a positive impact upon our profession. And it is my great pleasure to announce this year's President's Prize goes to Kathleen Loseby. Kathleen Loseby has, throughout her professional life, shown extraordinary leadership with senior appointments in leading practices, with a focus on practice management, sustainability, and change management in practice, as well as major projects both here and overseas. She has shared those experiences and insights in public forums through lectures and talks to industry and universities, always generous with her time and desirous of educating practitioners and the next generation of architects in a very real and often complex nature, of the practice of architecture. Since 2016, her significant contribution to the profession through her appointments with the Institute as both an elected councillor and more recently as chapter president have profoundly shaped the way in which our profession and the peak body of the AIA are considered amongst government and industry circles. Kathleen presided over a period of immense regulatory change in New South Wales, and through extraordinary service, personal commitment, and sheer determination, she managed to advocate on the behalf of the profession in parliamentary and government circles, thereby elevating the profession as the trusted advisor, desirous of a high-quality built environment outcome. Kathleen was tireless in her advocacy, rallying industry partners across disciplines and organisations, and raising work groups of practitioners to ensure that at every crucial conversation, there was an architect present, knowledgeable and equally generous with their time to ensure our voice was heard. Her service has also included an ongoing role as New South Wales ARB Assessor, AACA Assessor, as well as at the time as juror and chair of the AIA prizes and a series of lectures, talks and publications for industry bodies around architectural practice. Kathleen continues to advocate for high quality outcomes within the built environment through her appointment as CEO of the AACA. As we work towards national recognition, updated competencies that demand greater emphasis around First Nations and sustainability knowledge, Keiran will be at the helm to ensure practitioners and the next generations of architects are relevant, passionate, and competent to practice architecture. She embodies the principles of advocacy through service to our profession. In awarding the 2021 President's Prize, I commend Keiran Lowsby for her vision, drive, determination in our ongoing passion for the role of architects and the practice of architecture in creating better quality outcomes for our built environment and communities. Congratulations, Keiran. And congratulations to all of tonight's winners. Back to you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Laura. And that concludes the New South Wales Prizes and Honours announcements for 2021. I'd like to congratulate all of the recipients once again and thank especially all the jurors as well for their time and dedication. I've been your host for this evening. I'm Michael Linke here at the Institute of Architects, and I'd like to take this opportunity just to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. And I look forward to seeing you all in the new year, especially at our face-to-face celebration event in February, which we'll be announcing soon. So do keep your eyes peeled for that. That's it from us, of course. So enjoy the rest of your evening and especially your weekend. Until next time, do stay safe. We'll see you soon. Good night.